Hey, my Tech and Tribe is WendyInTech here. We're back with another episode of WendyInTech, and I'm here with Caleb Valrie. He's here today, so you guys please excuse my voice as well. I'm overcoming the sickness in Houston, the pollen, the weather changing has been crazy, so bear with me this episode. But hey, Caleb, how are you?
Doing well about yourself.
I'm doing good, so far so good. So you guys, I'm so happy Caleb's here. So we met last Saturday at Clean Up Block in Houston, Texas.
Hmm.
It's this amazing organization that works to help clean up Sunnyside in Houston and making everything better there. A lot of communities are overlooked, overshadowed, and this work being done for Clean Up Block is really focusing a lot on that. So Caleb, we ran into each other there, and I was like, "Oh, Caleb, I need you on the podcast." So he's here today. So Caleb, going to be in your business.
Come
So
on.
tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I guess professionally, I'm a chemical engineer. I've been doing it for about 5 years or so. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I moved here about a year and a half ago to pursue my career, but outside of that, yeah.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
how was like growing up in Alabama?
It's laid back. It's a laid back lifestyle. So I think of Alabama as like a family oriented place where family is important. We do a lot of outdoor activities like hunting, fishing. We just build a team of family and friendship more so than anything else. So it's a slower pace.
Yeah.
It's not quite like Houston where it's a lot more hustle and bustle and people are doing their thing, but it's a good laid back lifestyle.
So what got you into chemical engineering being in Alabama? My dad was in the Army for a very long time.
Yeah.
He was stationed everywhere, and that was one of the places. But like, what brought you to engineering in that perspective from there?
I wish I can give you a story of how I got into it. Honestly, I stumbled into it.
Wow.
So like I don't have any engineers in my family, and so like it's not like my dad was a chemical engineer or anything like that. I actually wanted to do medicine in college. That was my degree plan. That was pre med, and so I was thinking, okay, well, if I don't go into med school, what am I going to do with this, right?
Hmm.
And I was always good at math, so I was always good at math. I enjoyed chemistry a little bit. I'm like, okay, put those two together, it sounds like chemical engineering, right? It's completely different. It's not
Really?
like that.
I was
Yeah.
really good. I was good in those classes,
Yeah,
but
it's
okay.
not like that at all. But I didn't know, so
Okay.
like I said, this was just me being naive, but it worked out obviously. And so
Mhm.
I took a couple of chemical engineering courses. I'm like, you know what, this is actually interesting. It's different than what I thought, but it's still good. So
Right,
yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So I feel like now in a generation where, so what you're talking about is something that was introduced to me when I was younger too. There was always different perspectives of engineering. We had civil, chemical, forgot is like also computer engineering and different caveats. But now people are so hyper focused on cybersecurity.
Hmm.
Could you please explain to like the audience what exactly chemical engineering is and just like your career journey and like how it's been so far for you in this experience?
Yeah. So if I could put it into layman terms, I would think of chemical engineering as, you know, we have bakers. So if you're baking a cake, right? So you have ingredients that go into the cake. Like you got your flour, your sugar, your eggs, whatever the case is. But what chemical engineers do is we try to reach the same product of the cake by using less sugar, by using less flour, or to make it a more optimal. So we're trying to make it more efficient, and also how can we cut costs by doing that. And so if you took in like a class like a general chemistry where you had like the lab,
Hmm.
think about that on a large scale. And so you have different factors like pressure, temperature, all these things that you
The
can
periodic
tweak.
table.
Yeah,
So,
not necessarily, but yeah, all that. And so we do different things just to achieve
right.
like the end object. So this thing's going to like a lot of people when they think of chemical engineers, they think of like oil and gas, right? Those are
Yes,
the
they always think
those are
that's
the
what it
two.
is. Yes.
But if you think about it, everything that we have uses some sort of chemical. You got preservatives, right? The food that you eat, you got toothpaste. If you look at the ingredients, you'll see nothing but chemicals, right?
Mm.
So it's just important to note that we're in every sector, whether it's health, whether it's nutrition, whether it's, like I said, oil and gases and everything.
That's really good to
Yeah.
know because I feel like so I work in cybersecurity,
Hmm.
but when I came up, I studied computer science and I was basically like a software engineer. I did a lot of programming classes and everything was developed that way.
Yeah.
So I feel like people are kind of changing the perspective of tech so much right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
we don't talk enough about chemical engineers or other type of engineers out there. And
Hmm.
then the biggest question is AI. So has AI impacted chemical engineers in any type of way?
Yeah, AI is going to impact every industry.
Wow.
And so for chemical engineering, like it does impact like the machine learning aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like so now, we're not as reliant on like operators going through rounds, looking at equipment, seeing when, there's going to be any malfunctions or whatnot. Now there's AI tools that can help out with that, right? And then also from like a scheduling perspective, people that were in charge of logistics. You can have AI that come in and replace people like that. So it can be a little scary, but at the same time, this is just the way of the world. So for you, this this might be a benefit. So we'll see. But
I
yeah,
don't know. I feel like, so I'm not gonna say I'm against
yeah,
AI. I'm the person that's in the middle because we have to use it the correct way,
yeah,
right? So I feel like in my perspective, AI was incorporated or created to assist and enhance what
hmm,
we've already been doing, not to replace.
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people now are replacing and using AI, and that was not the whole means of AI to be deployed or be brought about in this generation,
yeah,
especially within like any job industry or the tech world, every type of engineering. I feel like we have to use it to enhance what we do every day,
hmm,
but the layoffs have been so crazy in every industry right now, and I feel
yeah.
like, have you guys gotten hit really bad with the layoffs too?
Yeah, but I would say it's more so economy driven than AI driven. So I mean, yeah,
I
that
agree.
that's part. AI is part of it because obviously when corporations want to increase their profits, that's the easiest thing to do, let go of
Hmm.
people, replace them with AI. But also like for chemical engineering specifically, the wars, like the war in Iran, like all those things that impacts us from a production standpoint because we get our raw materials from different parts of the world. So if the ports are closed or whatnot, then obviously that's going to delay production. And if we don't have production, we don't need as many people.
So have you guys seen like delay in ports? Have ports been closed already? I know the war just happened, I think about 2 weeks ago, but it's ongoing now. So
Yeah.
what's next for you guys?
We're anticipating like delays in supply disruption. So, I mean, for us, it just means we have to be adaptable. So we have to have more than one supplier to deliver raw materials. That means that we have to be more proficient in how we plan. And then also communicate, right? We have to communicate delays if we have customers and whatnot because they expect their product on time. They don't care if there's a war, right? They want their
Hmm.
stuff. So I mean, all of this is part of it.
It's part of it.
Yeah.
So you're a chemical engineer. Do you do anything on the side?
Yeah. So
Yes.
I mean, I do quite a few things. So like for myself, I read a lot.
Hmm.
I trade. So I'm heavy into stocks. I'm actually doing a degree right now in business, so business and finance. And so that's kind of
Congratulations.
like my other passion. That's why I talk about the economy a lot. That's my other thing. But yeah.
So are you striving to, what do you want to do exactly with your degree once you get that completed?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of already doing it. I've transitioned to more like of a business aspect role. So I'm in product management now. So I
Hmm.
worked at a plant for like 4.5, 5 years. Now I'm at a product management, more of like a business role,
Hmm.
which still within the chemical industry, but just a different function.
So
Yeah.
how's that transition been with you so far?
I mean, it was tough at first, right? Because you're going from like a plant, hard hat,
Yeah.
boots, operate. It's a laid back atmosphere. Now you're more so like structured, you're in
Hmm.
corporate. So there's a cultural shift. And also the job was a shift. So I had to adjust to that, which was tough. But I think now that I've was able to acclimate myself to the new environment, it's been good. It's been challenging, but it's
That's
been good.
that's great to hear. I
Yeah,
think your story can really be impactful for someone else out there,
exactly.
especially our young black boys. Right, I'm pretty sure you played sports growing up.
Yep.
I can tell. I think the jacket gave away like you did baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long did you play baseball?
I played baseball for a while throughout high school, and then also I played football as well.
Hmm.
So yeah, so
So
yeah,
I feel like being an athlete, because I played sports too. I
yeah,
ran track and I played basketball. I think it helps us develop some type of like discipline
hmm,
as we get older. But I feel like a lot of kids struggle whenever they're trying to, transition from being an athlete to actually being a working adult,
yeah,
right? So in your story, you just discussed like, hey, I fell upon chemical engineering.
hmm,
Now I'm pursuing something else in business. I came in with a hard hat. Now I'm wearing suits and ties,
hmm,
right? So like, what advice would you give somebody that's kind of like maybe gonna find themselves in a situation where they were an athlete, they find a hard time transitioning to adulthood?
hmm.
What can I do, like, to get myself started in this world?
You gotta be flexible, and you have to
Mm-hmm.
have a belief in yourself. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's where it starts. I think a lot of people when they think about chemical engineering, they go, "Oh, you gotta be so smart. You gotta do that." No, you just gotta
Right.
want to, and you gotta believe in yourself that you can do it. And I tell people this all the time. Like I don't consider myself any smarter than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like of course, there's some things that comes naturally to me that may take somebody else a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, if you want to do it, you can do it. Like that's
Mm-hmm.
why they say winners make it happen, and losers find excuses why it can't. So that has to be your mindset. And at the end of the day, especially being black in America, we've time and time again, there's been trials and tribulations that's been placed before us as to why we can't do something, right? And we've
Mm-hmm.
overcome and overcame generations after generation after generation. So it's in your DNA. So you can do it.
I agree with that. And
Yeah.
you being a young black man working in chemical engineering, have you ever experienced any type of, differences upon you due to, your age, the color of your skin, or
Yeah.
just, who you are?
Of course. I mean, like I said, I worked in a rural plant in Alabama. So
Mm-hmm.
you can think about when I first, graduated 22, 23 years old, and I'm working at a rural plant in Alabama, having to tell middle-aged, white men, 40, 50 years old, what to do. You can imagine what the response was at first, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and of course they might blame it on, oh, you're young, you don't really know, but then also there's that racial element as well that's in the
Right.
back of your head. Like, if I was a white person, would you be treating me the same way? But at the same time, it's okay to think those thoughts, right? It's okay to have those feelings because it could be true, it could be your experience, but at the same time, you have to look at it like, I'm here for a reason. And you have to have that confidence in yourself, like, this is what I come to do. I come
Right.
to improve the process. And if you're not happy with what I'm doing, then hey, we got a slip that we can write you up about. So
No,
so
I was always raised to
yeah,
like treat everybody the same, treat others with
exactly.
respect the way you want to be treated. I never saw color or anything growing up. Like I
Yeah,
was not raised that way, so I just find it weird, especially working in our environment now, like with the whole DI initiative,
yeah.
how people are treating it in every industry is kind of insane. Like, have you guys had that same issue too in chemical engineering?
Um, yeah. I mean, look, I grew up in a different environment. So I'm from South Alabama. So like, I was taught to see color. And I'm not saying see color in a racist or prejudiced way,
Right.
but you have to acknowledge differences in order to treat people fairly. If you
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, I don't see color, whatever, it can kind of place a blind spot on microaggressions. And so that's one thing that I was intentional about. Even
Mm-hmm.
some of my operators, when they would say little things, I would be like, hey, you said XYZ, or you said what sports I play. Why did you automatically assume I play sports? Is it because I'm just muscular, or is it because
Right.
you see
Mm-hmm.
a black man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just little things that you have to
Mm-hmm.
call people out on. So it's just important to note that.
I feel like I see it so much now, like on TikTok, like people are always talking about what they experience with their employer
Yeah,
or how to handle a situation, especially like being a woman that could be in the tech industry. Sometimes being the only woman working on a team could be a detriment to you because
yeah,
you're like a walking target. So it's just things that happen so much, has changed so much in the world. And I wish that we could get to a place where everyone can coexist together and
hmm,
we can forget about, you know, who somebody is, their color, their age, and just really work together to make things better.
yeah,
I mean, you're obviously going through a very tough time with the war happening. I'm sure
hmm,
your job is super stressful.
hmm.
And you probably have to deal with a lot every day. So that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. But it's like, what advice would you give anyone? Just it doesn't have to be about work, but it's just about motivating themselves to go to the next level.
Hmm.
What advice would you give somebody out there that may be looking for that?
Oh man, two things. One, find a mentor. It's important to whatever you want to do on the track, you have to find somebody that's done it. Because, like, I mean, the whole saying, if you can see it, you can be it. That's so true. And then, because representation matters. And then number
Mm-hmm.
two, you have to be humble. Like, nowadays, I see a lot of people that are younger with kind of a narcissistic attitude about some things, right? Because people live in social media,
They
right?
do. They
So,
do.
I mean, there's reality is a lot different. And so, like, yeah, you can come with expectations regarding, oh, this is one thing I do want to say regarding salary, like right out of college. I think it's important to understand what the actual range is and have
Absolutely.
realistic expectations when it comes to your degree. Even as engineers, right? I'm seeing people thinking they're getting 200-300K right out of college, and I'm just like,
No. Where do they live?
but that's what's been but that's what's been marketed, right? Like on
Mm-hmm.
social media, on your TikTok. So just live in reality and be humble. So those are a couple things.
No, I agree with
Yeah,
that. I love the advice you have to share for those. And also just talking about the current climate of how it is right
yeah,
now. I do want people to understand like working in cybersecurity can be amazing. Working in tech is great, but it's other caveats
yeah.
out there, other components of engineering to get into that are all still tech
Hmm,
related, right? Caleb Hill works in chemical engineering. I
hmm,
mean, obviously, you mentioned mentor. He's more than likely probably a mentor.
hmm,
He's open to answer any questions anybody might have about chemical engineers. I think it's a great job to get into. They make great money.
hmm.
Like, what's the salary rate starting off?
Starting off, I would anticipate 80 to 100, somewhere up in there.
80 to 100,000 coming out
Yeah,
of
right
college,
out of
and chemical
college.
engineer is
Yeah,
actually a lot of money to make.
yeah,
Sometimes in cybersecurity, let's start off could be like $60,000.
yeah.
It just depends, like demographics and all the things
Demographics,
like
all
they
the
play a
things.
major part.
100%.
And then two, a lot of people try to lowball you sometimes,
Exactly.
so you got to watch out for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I would have to commend you for what you're doing and
Appreciate it.
what you're creating. Because like at Clean Up Buck Y'all, he was like, you know, we was all getting down in the weeds. We are picking up, we were cleaning up sunny side. But Caleb was out there really being very positive about what he does, and he was open to coming and sharing like his story, what he does for, and how it could be beneficial to somebody else one day. So I appreciate you for coming down today as well. Do you have anything else you want to tell the audience before we leave out today?
No, I mean, like I said, just believe in yourself. That's the main thing. Believe in yourself. Know that your history is rooted with people who overcame great obstacles. You can too.
Awesome. And you guys, Caleb is a mentor, so
yeah.
I'm going to make people go to him for chemical engineering mentorship now.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank y'all. See you later.
All right.